Hey, what's going on, everybody? BDF 44 coming at you another video. So I don't know where that bus was going. I got on a bus at the train station and it's turned right in front of the no-hole that I was at last time. So I don't know where it was going, but I was not going down that way. So, and I'm also not going to spend 2 times the amount on buses on this side of town. I ain't doing that. So I'm walking the rest. Just like walking from the hotel, no different really. But bought myself some dishwashing detergent, something that would be good for my skin. No fragrance, plant-based. You know, I can't really do the palm olive and all that. I'll peel and itch and all kinds of other stuff. But yeah, man, it felt good to go to the other side of Hollywood, man. The other side of Hollywood. I guess that's what I'll call it. The other side of Hollywood. I didn't show you or whatever I labeled it, but I encourage everybody to check out those videos. It's about 3 of them. Or 2 of them actually, and I did walk all the way to the train station, which also was a very good video where I was talking about some things that really matter to me. So I encourage everybody to check out the video that I made on the way to the train station. Didn't catch the bus there. So yeah, man, God is good. I was able to kind of get out of that hotel, and the Lord said he would guide my spirit. It was something he wanted me to see, and ultimately he got me to Hollywood. But the other side, I went to my elementary school, of course, as you guys saw. Went to the old place where all the worst happened when I was 2 years old. I went there, saw the old church that I went to for a little while. That kind of thing, man. It was good to be on that side of town. The opposite side of Hollywood, the side that I also frequented quite a bit as a child, but didn't get a chance to go to 2 weeks ago, whenever that was. I think it was about 2 weeks ago. So, yeah, God is good, man. It's a little warm, but it ain't nearly as hot as it was. These last 3 days, it was in the mid to upper 90s. Right now, I'd say it's about 80, 87, something like that. 86, something like that. So it's doable. Not loving it because I didn't bring any water with me, but I'm not tripping. And probably about 35 minutes away from the hotel, depending on how fast I walked. Although last time I think I got there pretty fast, to be honest with you, from this area. But yeah, man, I wish I was on the other side of the street because there's more shade over there. But nevertheless, man, I'm just trying to follow what God wants me to do, man. Trying to heal up from all of these different things that have been so very tough, man. It ain't seem like it's letting up because, of course, I got to go through the process of the same thing I did last time, which is probably have my stuff stored underneath the stairs if I can't find a place by Friday, which I don't anticipate I will. So Friday's the day, and then got to find a way to scrounge up the money to pay for that if they do give me my contract. So it's just a lot of stuff that's still on my plate. But I also have good news, of course, as you guys already know. My exodus from T-Mobile is on the way. I got the SIM card coming from whatever wireless, one of the wireless companies. I'm gonna keep my own phone for the time being and just take their SIM card and get away from T-Mobile probably by the 14th, which is, I think it is Friday. And then from there, I also have my GR paperwork submitted. I didn't check their website today to see if they did anything with it. Probably not. I submitted it on Friday. It's Monday, so I don't expect it to move to at least till Wednesday. But hopefully they can give me back pay on my GR. And if that's the case, my boy T suggested that might be an option. If that's the case, that should put me in a pretty solid position and not have to ask for money from my family right now. So that's what the hope is, man. That is the hope. I ain't got to ask no more from no one after this upcoming week. If it does come to that, it should look like I'll have to this week. But not as much. Not as much because I've been saving. What they gave me, the only thing I really bought was the little bit of $20 worth of food that I had to purchase before. I had replenished my DBT. It replenished on the 7th. I had to buy some food on the 5th. It's like $20-something. And then this, which was like $5. That's the only bit of that money that I spent. Other than that, I spent it all on the hotel for the last 3 weeks. So, you know, I'm proud of that. I've been very disciplined. I only bought things I needed this go round, man. So it's cool, man. I hope that everybody's having a fantastic day, man. I really am having a pretty solid one. I could be in better spirits if my circumstances were better. But, you know, as I was telling you on the way to the train station, I want everybody to really pay attention to that 45 minutes worth of talking, because it helped me understand where I had been very selfish with my friend Kay, and that was coercing me into the sadness that I was ultimately feeling. And while, as I told you guys, I wish she was a little more open with communicating with me, at the end of the day, I'm not owed that. And on this side of town, I could do the same thing. You know, I could walk away and she ain't asking me no questions about my business. She don't care what I got going on. So, you know, you just gotta appreciate the freedom of give and take when it's not like people are asking more from you than they're willing to give you. And sometimes when you want more from them, that could be a little difficult, especially when you're naturally selfish, like I find myself to be. So it's just a discipline to understand, hey, look, man, not everybody gonna be all open and happy and hunky-dory with you just because you feel like you want that from them. It's just not what it is. People have their own lives, they got their own thing, and most importantly, they're not in isolation like you. So there ain't no reason for them to be in spaces where they looking at you saying, why don't you complete my day? No, that's up to you to complete your own day. And if I were as busy as I should be, then there wouldn't be any of that. And that's the same thing I had going on with my ex back in the day when I was 25. Because I was stuck in the house not doing nothing, I expected for her to have the time to waste, you know, occupying whatever the hell I had going on. And what she was seeing was somebody who was not self-motivated. Not somebody who was necessarily mentally ill, and that would be the reason. But self-motivation was just lacking. It's like, I'm working, why aren't you working? I'm working on, you know, this, and this. And you sitting up here looking at me, waiting for me to give you time. I don't have time for that. And so she reached her goals in life at 30, you know, almost 40 years old. I'm sure she's where she wants to be, even though I've lost touch with her over the last couple of years. And I'm in a space where I'm still kind of stagnant because I wasn't sacrificing back then because of how I am. So it's like, it's almost like a revisiting of that same thing in a different way with Kay. And I just find myself stagnant. And now it's time to try to like not make the same mistakes I made when I was 25 with her, and expecting more and displaying less, to where, you know, it's not really good to invest in a person like myself when you're not doing more, you're not working for yourself. It's like, why haven't you gotten your life together? Why haven't you? And the answer is because of my circumstances and mental illness. But it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not capable of doing great things, because I'm very much so. I just need a little bit of a boost where others may not need that. And who doesn't understand that in my life, or who doesn't, you know, have that for me, may not necessarily understand that, you know, within myself and the needs that I may have for them in regards to what ultimately needs to change in my life. You know, as far as wasting time talking about them giving me more time, I need to find better ways of using my time. Instead of wondering about what she's doing on vacation, I need to go find myself somewhere, you know. And that's what I did today. It's like, I wasn't going to sit in that house moping around about what it was I wasn't receiving. I need to go somewhere and get some business of my own. So I went back home and created content for this channel. I left you guys almost 3 hours worth of content here. And that's my response to that, you know. This is what I can do. I may not be able to consciously work a job without wanting to jump off the highest point, but I can put my face in this camera and tell y'all what the Holy Spirit is giving me. I can sell some of my art, which I still haven't done any of. I can make these playlists. I can do this Laker team thing, which I'm going to do when I get home. Get back to what it is that I do, for which I love, man. And that's what I can provide the world. That's what I can provide myself in confidence. And hopefully that will be enough for whoever it is that's meant for me. That will be something that they can look at, on top of the fact that I'll be getting my GR to pay for whatever the hell I need to pay for. But, you know, I don't want nobody looking down upon me because I have this mental illness. No different than I don't want to look upon anybody else down because they can't do all of the things that maybe I feel I can do. Not to say that she does that, but it just is what it is, you know? So for me, it's like, not to feel down about that. If people accept me for who I am and want to invest in me as I grow to be better, then they'll be in my life. If they don't take to my energy very well, or if I'm not growing and I'm bringing them the worst of me, then I can't expect anything out of them. That's just what it is. And so that's what I'm learning in regards to Kay. Spending too much time paying attention to what she's doing, even though I care about her a great deal. I'm not living my life enough to keep up with what it is I'm supposed to in order to keep up with a person like that. I got to be able to move around more, do more consciously, and that's fine, you know. I'm up for that particular challenge, but not as it pertains to, you know, trying to keep up with somebody else, but more so about just learning how to do for me. in the way that I always should have, you know? So that's really what it's about, man. That's why I do all these different things. Make up for what it is I'm not doing, I guess. I don't really look at it like that, but that's kind of how it may look to others. And it is what it is, man. Do what we do. You know, it left me at a disadvantage in regards to my finances, but hey, man, money comes and goes. I've had it before to a degree. I have it again, especially with what it is that I believe I'm good at. I probably have enough at some point, but for now, it's not there, and I gotta live with that. I gotta live with myself. You know, that's what it comes down to. So sitting around in that hotel room waiting for things to happen, knowing that I'm not prone to make them happen in that way, wasn't it. I need to go find some business, go do something, and I did it. And now I got plenty to share with anybody who cares. You know what I mean? Literally, plenty to share with anybody who cares. And that's what I hope to leave behind. Not to try to chase numbers. I was thinking about that on the way to the train station. Not to chase numbers, but to chase excellence in regards to what I'm doing. Same thing with the Laker videos. If you happen to like them, I love it that you like them, but I'm not chasing numbers. I'm chasing the craft of the passion. No different than I was telling y'all in Hollywood when I used to practice my drumming in the samba band that I was in. I was chasing excellence. Before I even got in the band, I was trying to master what it is they were doing in there, you know, in the auditorium as a child. Before I even got in the band, I was already showing people that I had a passion for that. So it wasn't nothing for me to make the band. I made the band on first try, you know, because I already had a love for what they were doing before I even got there. So that's what it's about, man. It's the consistency of repetition and excellence from intention. And I'm looking for what's meant for me, man. I'm telling y'all, I don't want to spend too many more days like I spent these last couple. Sad and wanting more from others and not knowing that was selfishness within myself. It was hard, man. I woke up this morning not feeling a whole lot better, you know what I mean? Just that's it. But, and so for me, it's like I can do something about that. For one, prayer first, believing in God first, and then applying myself to these various different things that the Lord puts in my heart to do, which is a lot of times the very thing that I would actually want to do. It's the world that tells me I need to do this, and this in order for that, and that to work out. But the reality is, I did this, that, some other things according to prayer, and even though I ran into some difficulties, those difficulties made me better. And if I did that, and that the way you wanted me to, the world, I would have never learned these particular lessons or had these types of respects for myself and others. And so this was the path I needed to be on for the things that I do best, which is talking to others and teaching them whatever it is I'm learning in life. If I'm going around doing the Groundhog Day thing at work every day, in and out, maybe I'll learn some lessons there, but not the type of lessons that'll help me with the content that I'm making, not the type of lessons that'll help me with the various different things that I'm passionate about. I had to do this. This is what I'm wired to do. And if that makes me disadvantaged, I don't know what to say about that. You know what I mean? If that makes me mentally ill, we'll see how it all pans out when I'm done. You know, that's really what it comes down to. We'll see how it all pans out when I'm done. Because Lord knows I don't look at myself as somebody who's incapable. I look at myself as somebody who's very capable. It's just not to do the things that ultimately would chase money and work. I don't want to do those things. I don't find myself to be stable when I do those things. And when I find myself doing those things, I find myself not happy with my life. I find myself struggling to initiate those things even in the most dire circumstances. And the truth of the matter is because I'm not supposed to actually do those things. And the Lord is just kind of giving me an understanding of that and doesn't allow me to walk into those arenas that I'm not supposed to. That is mental illness in this world. In this society we're in, that is in fact a mental illness. But what I'm starting to understand is the Lord is flowing me like a channel of water going in a certain direction. And even though it's not meant for most to flow upstream, I'm going against gravity. And as a result, I'm doing things that others are not doing for reasons they're not doing. And I think it's going to age better than a lot of things that people are doing. God's honest truth. He made this brain to do things. A lot of them. Different things at a good high level. And he made it so that this same brain will not flow downstream just because gravity's pushing me that way. It just won't. And I fought against that. And I felt like I was a disadvantage and all these different things. At the end of the day, I just choose not to. however that looks. And when I try to choose against that, I'm overridden by something greater than myself. That's what it really feels like. I was supposed to go to school. No, I wasn't. Literally, no, I wasn't. Yes, supposed to is in you should, but no, it's supposed to as opposed to when I tried to, the Lord wouldn't initiate that within me at all. And as a result, all the things that happen after that, including everything that you're going to be able to see from BDF 44, all of them. None of them get done if I would have did things exactly the way this world wanted me to, man. And that's the reality of it. And that don't mean I don't hold myself accountable for the disadvantages, but it does mean that if I'd have did things the wrong way, I'd end up with the wrong woman. I tell you that. My ex was not meant for me, but if I'd have did everything I was supposed to in the world, I'd probably still be with her, because that was the only thing that broke us up, was the fact that I wasn't flowing downstream. It's God's honest truth. She didn't believe in me in regards to me initiating anything within myself. And granted, I hadn't discovered any of these things that I learned to do. None of them. And so it's like, look, we'll see where this goes. It's been some bad roads taking this route. I don't wish this route on most, unless you're wired to get yourself out of it, or have a relationship with God that tells you this is where you're supposed to go. No, don't follow my path. This path sucked. It sucked, man. It left me without a lot of things that I felt I wanted, including the women that I loved. But at the end of the day, it wasn't meant for me if that's the case. It's got to be a special woman to be wired like for this guy, quite honestly. And so that's just what it is, man. Gotta learn how to live with myself, and learn how to be okay with myself, and learn how to take the avenues that the Lord is trying to get me to walk down. Because at the end of the day, I'm doing things that others aren't doing, and they're not wired to do what I do. But what I do needs to be done. What I'm displaying needs to be shown. And what I be talking about on these random videos needed to be said. All of the therapy sessions that I've had, whether I was confused of the mind or not, came from a place of prayer. Every last one of them. Every last one of them. I was praying, unless I was going through something that was horrible in my mindset, which I did display a few times, as you know. But the majority of the times we talk about hard things, I was praying. I may have been high out of my mind off of weed, but I was in meditative spaces a good portion of the time with a lot of these therapy sessions. I don't regret none of them, and I'm glad they're made. But if I would have did things upstream, or downstream rather, the way that everybody else do it, it had never been made. You know what I'm saying? And so I'll just go with what the Lord wants me to. This is what I was doing, following the Holy Spirit, trying to get away from feeling down about myself because of whatever I'm not having, or whatever people don't, whatever they thinking. Enough of what people thinking, man. It's time to worry about what God is thinking. I don't even care about what I'm thinking, because a lot of times when I'm thinking the wrong stuff. Damn, I just watched little man get hit. Rest in peace, little buddy. There was a squirrel ran across the street, and he definitely got ran over right in front of me. Damn, I ain't gonna be able to save him. They ran over his head too. Ouch. First time I ever seen nothing like that. He's dying right in front of me, y'all. He was able to skirt around the first wheel, but not the back wheel. The back wheel got him. Wow, I've never seen that before. But it is what it is, man. Rest in peace to him. And I tell y'all, man, that right there is why I'm starting to get angry at the idea that I'm not accepted for who I am. Because at any moment, I could be that. Right there. Died right in front of me. And I'm telling you, I don't feel anything, like, I think that's more of a confirmation. I think that's more or less, God bless. I think it was a confirmation. And you got to do what you are wired to do, because you don't know. If you go downstream like everybody else, you may lose your life early. You may end up getting hit by the car that you was never even meant to be in front of. I wasn't going to show y'all that, man. That's not something I think anybody wants to see. But I watched him live, get hit, and die in a matter of seconds. Right there. And I'm telling y'all, it just coincides with everything we're talking about. I am not letting any energies of any kind tell me anything in regards to what I'm doing anymore. I'm over with that. I'm done with that. I will not work any of these shitty ass jobs. I'm not crazy, but I am at a disadvantage based on how y'all define it. Period. And as I try to do what it is that y'all do, I find myself not able to. So that's the advantage of saying I'm mentally ill, but this ain't no real mental illness. This is me going with the way the Lord's Spirit wants me to go. And that's something I've kind of fought with for a long time, but not anymore. Not anymore. And so that's really what it comes down to. Rest in peace, a little squirrel there, man. I was pretty sad. You know what I'm saying? Really sad, actually. How you doing? But, you know, we all have a time to go, and it was his time, man. He did all he needed to do. I know there's going to be some family members missing him, you know what I mean? But he lived. He lived, and he died fast. He didn't suffer. He did not suffer. So that's what I want to say to everybody, man. I refuse to suffer in my life, not knowing if I'm going to suffer in my death, not knowing if the Lord's going to take me out at any moment in one of these steps. I'm not going to allow the world to tell me if there's something wrong with me or any of my quote-unquote girlfriends or loved ones, make me feel worse about not being able to go up downstream. I don't care to go downstream. Not to say that Kay has done that in any way. She really hasn't, but I'm just saying, even she asked me, look, what did you think was going to happen when you did certain things? It's like, I don't know how to answer those questions, y'all. What did you think was going to happen? I think the Lord was guiding me, and I think that where I'm at is exactly where I need to be. And when I get to where I'm going, I'm going to know I did things for the right reasons. Even if I didn't have the right frame of mind in regards to saving myself from what it is that otherwise you're guarding against, I still coerce myself into the exact presence of places I'm supposed to be. For example, right now on this camera with y'all. If I wasn't doing everything quote unquote wrong, we wouldn't be having these conversations. We wouldn't be singing this song. So that's where I'm at with that, man. I believe I deserve to be happy. I believe I deserve to be devoted to when I'm at my best. When I'm at my best. When I'm not being selfish and using others as a transactional mindset. You know, that kind of thing, which I hadn't been, don't get it twisted. But I deserve to be fought for in situations like relationships. I deserve to be communicated with. If for some reason people want to do certain things outside of, you know, whatever, if we talking like that, you calling me this, calling me that, I deserve to be communicated with. You know what I mean? I don't think I've been deserving of any of the treatment that ultimately comes my way in certain situations. But nevertheless, the Lord gave me that just like he gave me this. And I'm keep on stepping. You know, I love me, whether you do or not. That's what it has to be. I love God, and he shows me how to love me. And hopefully by way of what it is he's given me, I can show you how to love him. And he can show you how to love you if you don't already do that. A lot of people think they love themselves, but they leave themselves with worse reputations. They leave themselves in absolute danger. They leave themselves with no path to a good afterlife if such a thing exists in their hearts. They leave themselves none of that. They leave themselves messed up in every way possible by way of following others, following downstream, because that's what people tell us to do. Not following compassion, but following what's evil because it's easy to do. It's acceptable. That stuff is whack. You're all going to hell together. I'm not trying to follow you there. You ever heard of lemmings? Lemmings are little animals that chase each other off of cliffs together in droves. They all commit suicide at once. That's how a lot of people look to me when they follow different cultures that mean them no good, man. Like lemmings. It's one of the worst video games I ever played. I didn't understand it. I didn't know how to play it. I just knew it these little animals who were killing themselves in real life when you look up what lemmings actually was. And probably somewhere around that time, I realized that I wasn't like everybody else. I could think for myself. I had a connection with God that was different than a lot of people. I had a certain type of compassion that was different than a lot of people, and I had a certain type of demons that was different than a lot of people. To be honest with you, struggles that others didn't have. And so it's like, man, I'm different, man. Special? I don't know if that's a good word, but different and capable, very capable. Deserving of good things, hell yeah. Deserving of being loved properly and treated like a man, even though I struggle with this stuff. I think I'm getting there if I didn't already deserve that. So that's what I want to say, man. Declaration of confidence. You know, that's what this is. It's a declaration of confidence. I'm not like y'all. You are not like me. Don't do what I did. I ain't doing what you do. BDF 44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.